I'm Margaret N. Windsor. I'm Queen Victoria II, and I am the legal heir to the British Crown as I sit here. I'm going to say it again, and this is to the, how do you pronounce it really? BREXIT, whoever. This whole thing has gone on and on and on. I'm going to explain if any of you are listening, and hopefully there's some things done that put me back where all this is told and before a court that is honest. My father's Edward VIII. He married Claudia Ruth O'Keefe, an American, sister to artist Georgia O'Keefe from Madison, Wisconsin. In 1936, she was queen. No way in HEIR, excuse my language, no, don't excuse it. This is so horrible that this has been allowed to go on. My dad never married. American Spy, Wallace Simpson. She married a double. Say it over and over again. She married an imposter that became the illegal title of Duke and Duchess of Windsor. My Uncle George was put in power by the Illuminati, your mafia, your world mafia, under the guise of the United Nations, sitting in New York City. And they're really in control. And this is the end times they're talking about, which I was writing about in a book, but I had no idea this is where it led, because I'd been kidnapped in 1941, born in 1939. My father was forced out by character assassination by this mafia controlled. They weren't at the time. And that's the reason they got rid of my father. He would not follow their orders. So they got rid of him. He had made legal papers arrangements that when he left, it would not disinherit an heir should he have an heir. And it wouldn't be for the proper channels, let's say it that way. Now, I was born in 1939. My father was forced out. They really took his identity and my mom's. And yes, George VI, Elizabeth's father, the mafia, the Illuminati, the global government installed. He did this to his own brother and then helped in my kidnapping in 1941. Because the minute I was born, I'm Victoria II. And that would bring my father back, because he never meant to leave. He was forced out by this sorry bunch that rules the world now, that came into power because exactly what I'm saying, they took out my father, because he wouldn't be a part of them. But Uncle George was. Elizabeth's a high-ranking member. I've known this. I mean, they actually went to the people that took out this is their point, was taking out the British Empire. And Elizabeth and a lot of my family, which some of them may have been forced into this, I don't know, Sweden, Denmark, the Netherlands is where they put the war tribunal, which is Henry Kissinger, the Jew. Can I say that? Because they're the ones that helped kidnap me, and the Watergate tapes the world should listen to, that were subpoenaed. And Kissinger's on that right in the White House. Is who he's ordering, in essence, killed. He really is. In 1972. Okay, so this whole facade is a bunch of bull. Now, you can kiss around the words to use or what. It's been hell and illegal. Now then, all this has transpired, and Elizabeth was, like I started to say, written up in, the 300 most influential or highest ranking members of your global mafia Illuminati. She doesn't represent the British. She was never legal to represent them. She's a traitor, and she should be tried as one. And that whole friggin' lineage after her knows it. And I'm talking about Diana knew it. She's dead, supposedly. Uncle George, the illegal six. Elizabeth has stood by and listened to the tapes that have surfaced again, the videos, calling my father Edward VIII and how he advocated to marry Wallace Simpson. They leave out she's an American spy. They leave out that he's a double, an imposter, and that I was even born and I'm the monarch, and that Elizabeth is illegal and a traitor to her own country. She represents the global government. By the way, she came through here when I'm on top of the Appalachian Trail mountain up here trying to live, starving and freezing. You think she's bothered to stop and say hello? She was too busy. This, by the way, is when the Virginia Tech shooting happened. 33 were killed because what I'd been writing about in the book prior to learning and remembering about my kidnapping in 41 was about mind control murders and the Tesla files, where you can cure an illness or create it. It's about chipping people, and that's what I was writing about, putting chips in root canals, heart bypasses, wherever, and programming them. And you can cure illnesses, cancer, any of it, way back in 30 when they stole the files. Now, I'm writing about that starting in 76. Larry Flynn of Hustler magazine was shot in 78 while I was doing the book. He was shot in Lawrenceville, Georgia, near me in Marietta, Georgia. I was living at Moonraker. Moonraker, the title of my book that I tried to get published, which involved a lot of names, Larry McDonald, Congressman Doctor, who supposedly went down in the KAL, August the 31st of 83. He was in the book, and a lot that was associated with him at Piedmont. Now, he's U.S. Congressman. So Larry Flint was shot. Now, later I knew it was a program shooting. I was flown out to Flint's and became a candidate to replace Larry McDonald. And I didn't win, of course. And I'm skipping a lot that's done, but was done. You can't tell my life. It's horrible. I was almost killed April Fool Day of 80. And my sons, who are heirs after me, Mark and Scott, William and Kate and Harry and Meghan, are not the heirs. Neither is Charles, who has broken all the rules, like this JFK that helped kidnap me. His father was appointed ambassador in 36 by Roosevelt, another Jew, the president. Whole family of Roosevelts, Eleanor, the son, I think his name's John, whole family was rotten to the core. And Roosevelt appointed JFK's father, Joe, as ambassador to England, 1936, for the reason of taking down my father. They couldn't control him. He wouldn't go along with him. He was honest. And you sorry sots, all of you that sit up here and allowed this lie to be played out and the hell to be played out, ask yourself if it is the end times, because this is what they talk about. I found out later about the Illuminati, global government, the mark of the beast, the chipping people. I had no idea that I'd been kidnapped. They say I did, that I always knew subconsciously. When I was told, I remembered a lot, and it can be proven. This whole thing has gotten way out of hand, though, is when you took out my dad and kidnapped me and installed George, the lying, no good. They can do all this stuff and torture to me and my children and my country. And part of the Americans, they don't realize that these mass shootings here are caused by their own government here, and you control it, the Illuminati. You control every president. I thought Jimmy Carter wasn't, but now I know he was. So anyway, I hope Trump's not a part of it. And by the way, if this is ever played before you friggin' UN that represent these sorry sots that did all this, I'm going to lose my train of thought now. Heaven forbid. Wonder why. Anyway, let me get back to this. Elizabeth passed through here when I'm living on the Appalachian Trail trying to live, freezing, starving, And if you could disregard all that's gone on to me and my children who are heirs after me in the past here in this country. I was given the name of a twin, and the twin was actually killed just a week or two before they put me there. So this was planned, her death and all of it, and the other twin was killed about about a month after birth. They were a year older than me. So the Illuminati controls the press, and the United Nations is the Illuminati in New York City, and Rockefeller headquarters, New York City. You turn on the media channel, specifically NBC, guess what you get? Rockefeller Plaza over the top and here and there. So they're really telling you. It's quite, well, I'm not going to go into that. The Christmas tree. Oh boy. I wonder if some things are true. Anyway, I'm going around this, and you can call it babbling if you want to, whoever, if this has ever played to anybody. I wanted to say this. This was the reason putting this one up. I'm giving a lot of background here. The Rock of Gibraltar was formerly held by Spain and is now held, supposed to be, the British. That's me. I'm British. I'm the monarch. Legal. And no, it shouldn't go back. And let's see. See, I didn't go off to college. I had just a bit. I had to work my way through and pay for this woman that where they put me when they kidnapped me had killed her twins. So you know how she treated me. I worked in high school. It was I picked cotton in Alabama when I was little, barely able to put on a sack. Food. What a joke. You think I like it? Hell no, I don't like it. I've been through hell, and I loved and cared for people, and this is my children. Oh no, you don't. Do you know what you did to my father? You've all allowed to happen. And Elizabeth is honored. She's a traitor and a liar. Where does she fit in the Bible? Where do I fit in the Bible and my father? Because this is the Illuminati that we're talking about. Okay, let me make sure, since Elizabeth got to go off and be educated, why isn't she telling you about this? Anyway, I want to make sure I get it right. Is it pronounced BREXIT? Well, it's illegal. This whole mess is illegal since they took down my dad. That was illegal. All your treaties are illegal. I sure don't agree with it. And I'm the real monarch now for whatever that has to do in it. So, no, it doesn't go back to anybody. It's any other country. It's British, period.